Ethan Hale wasn't just any CEO. He was one of the youngest billionaires in the city, a man whose name alone made boardrooms fall silent. But despite having everything money could buy, something about his life felt empty. He trusted no one, not after years of people pretending to care just to get close to his wealth. That was why he noticed Lily. Lily, the shy maid who had joined his staff only a month ago, barely spoke above a whisper. She moved quietly through the hallways like a gentle breeze, soft, careful, almost invisible. She never asked questions, never complained, never even looked him in the eye for more than a second. And yet something about her sincerity tugged at him. One rainy morning, Ethan sat in his study flipping through pages of a business contract. But his mind was elsewhere. He kept thinking about a conversation he overheard between two staff members the day before. Lily gave away her lunch again. She says someone else probably needs it more. But she barely eats anything herself. She's too kind, too soft for this world. Kindness without expecting anything back, he hadn't seen that in years. So he decided to test it. If I pretend to fall asleep? Ethan muttered to himself, leaning back in his chair. What would she do? Will she ignore her work? Or will she talk behind my back like the others? He moved to his bedroom and positioned himself on the couch instead of the bed. Papers and documents lay scattered across the floor, looking as if he had fallen asleep while working. He dimmed the lights, lay down, and closed his eyes, half listening, waiting. Minutes later, he heard soft footsteps outside. Lily entered quietly, holding a small tray with water and a folded blanket. She paused when she saw him lying there. "Oh, he must be tired," she whispered to herself, her voice trembling with worry. Ethan kept his breathing steady, pretending to sleep. Lily tiptoed around him, picking up the papers without making a sound. She arranged them neatly, carefully smoothing the edges with her palms. She wiped the table, dusted the shelves, and even adjusted the lighting so the room felt warmer. Then Ethan felt something he didn't expect, her gently placing a blanket over him. But it was what came next that made his heart tighten. Lily knelt down beside the couch, hands folded nervously. "I hope you're okay, sir," she whispered with a softness that carried genuine concern. "You work so hard. I wish you had someone to remind you to rest." Her voice shook as if she feared someone might hear her. "You deserve to be cared for too," she added, her eyes glistening with emotion. Ethan's breath caught. No one, absolutely no one, had said words like that to him in years. He felt a lump forming in his throat, but he forced himself to remain still. Then Lily did something completely unexpected, something that would stay with him forever. She placed her hand gently over his and whispered, "Even if you never notice, I'm grateful." Ethan stayed completely still, though every instinct in his body screamed at him to sit up and ask Lily why she cared so much about a man who had barely spoken to her. He had intended to test her loyalty, maybe even her sincerity. He never expected tenderness. Lily slowly stood up after whispering her gentle words. Ethan could hear the soft rustle of her apron as she wiped her hands, trying to hide nervousness, even though she believed he was asleep. She moved toward the window and pulled the curtains slightly, letting the warm afternoon sunlight fall softly across the room. She deserves kindness too. Ethan found himself thinking, hearing her breathe shakily as she cleaned. For the next few minutes, she quietly went about her tasks, dusting shelves, organizing his books, picking up a pen that had rolled under the table. She never rushed, never sighed in frustration, never showed even a shadow of irritation. Every move was patient, almost caring. Then something happened that caught Ethan completely off guard. He heard a muffled sniff, a tiny sound, almost imperceptible. But it wasn't dust, it wasn't a cough. It was heartbreak. Lily turned her back to him, facing the window. She wiped the side of her cheek, thinking no one could see. Ethan felt his stomach twist. Why is she crying, he wondered, straining to keep his breathing even. Lily's voice came out in a fragile whisper, broken with emotion. "Please don't fire me, I'm doing my best." Fire her? Ethan's brows knit slightly. Why would she even think that? She clutched her apron tightly, knuckles turning white. "I know I'm not perfect," she whispered shakily. "I'm slow and sometimes I forget things. I really need this job." Her voice cracked. "And I can't afford to lose another place." "Another place?" Ethan's chest tightened painfully. How many jobs had she lost? How much had she endured to make her this scared? Her quiet sobs filled the room like tiny needles piercing his heart. He had tested employees before. He had even caught a few stealing or gossiping. But this was someone who cared more about doing things right than being seen. Someone who worked silently, never asked for praise, and yet carried fears deeper than anyone knew. Suddenly, Lily stumbled. Her ankle twisted slightly as she hurried to hide her tears. The tray shook in her hands and a glass nearly fell. Ethan's body reacted faster than his mind. He caught it. The glass trembled between his fingers as he finally opened his eyes. Lily froze. Their eyes met. Hers widened in terror, pure, heartbreaking terror. "Says, sir?" she whispered, stepping back as if she had done something unforgivable. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were awake." Ethan sat up slowly, the blanket slipping down his shoulders. "Lily," he said gently, his voice softer than she'd ever heard it. "Why were you crying?" Her lips trembled. I'm sorry, please don't fire me." Ethan felt something inside,